guys, I've only done this once before, but I decided to do a quick little intro sort of thing before the video started. So anyway, thank you to Huntsman Tier, Patron Edgewin, and Academy Professor, Patron Jackson Buchanan for supporting me on Patreon. Okay, so I decided to do this little thing at the start of the video because little baby Ren is so cute and so pure, and I don't want to be sad. I just want to remember this moment when I woke up in the morning and said, I can't wait to see RWBY today because Ren is the purest little cinnamon bun that has ever existed on God's green earth. Or, you know, Ozpin's green earth, depending on which theories you've been looking at lately. Oh my gosh, yes, that's why I'm doing a little intro thingy thing right now. So this is before I have watched anything, keep that in mind. And so if in like 10 seconds I come back again and you guys see me in tears, then you know why. But yeah, I am really excited for this episode. I just wanted to kind of do this thing before the episode started like I did a couple episodes ago, just to do some guesses. I think that Ren or Nora, they're gonna die here. Like, I'm seeing death flags now that we're having Ren backstory, and I don't know what to think anymore. And so, anyway, we're gonna go watch the episode. We'll see you all later. Ren's not dead! Not yet. Okay, so, I did the intro already. I said this, that, you know, in 10 seconds when I come back, you know, if I'm in tears, you guys will know what happened. But obviously, Ren's not dead. So anyway, we're gonna start at the very beginning. We'll talk about all that, fun stuff, later on in the video. But anyway, it starts with Oscar, and Oscar is leaving home. Oscar is getting the fuck out, because I guess Ozpin was like, hey, you know, we gotta go, fam. And then Oscar says that, you know, it feels weird, but it was the right thing to do, and so he's kind of more comfortable with this idea that he's
following a voice that's in his head.
Yeah.
For all you at home, for the children, if a voice tells you to run away from home, it's not Ozpin.
I mean, it could be a ghost, but you could also have schizophrenia, and so I would
Or you could both have schizophrenia.
Anyway. So the point is that somebody else pointed this out, but Oscar tends to appear in every third episode. So he was in the first episode, then the fourth, then the seventh, and obviously this is the 10th where we have seen him. I don't know what the significance of these numbers are at all, but maybe we can do a video about that. Apparently there's something, I feel like there's a pattern here that maybe I haven't seen, but it may just be coincidence because of how they've been doing things. So I just wanted to quickly mention that. So yeah, Oscar does say that it feels really weird, but he also says that it all feels like it's right, which I think is important. And so Oscar wants to go on the train, and I guess his credit card isn't working or something.
Or
the machine isn't taking. It's a Len credit card, I'm assuming, because when we see Ren holding money, they look different, and we haven't seen too many characters with cash. Actually, no, we saw Weiss had her card, so yeah, it was a credit card. This is totally relevant.
It also said insufficient funds, so yeah,
maybe
it's a
he either
card.
Doesn't have any money or it's not working. We don't really know.
And then it was a hilarious moment it's like, where Oscar goes and starts talking to Ozpin. It's like, hey,
in his head, like, yeah.
Do you have any money? And Ozpin's like, sorry, bud, you're out. And he just kind of leaves him.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like, Ozpin, like,
you
thanks,
dick.
that's helpful. Oh
That's
my
not
god.
helpful.
I remember, like, because it was 5 minutes ago, I was just like, Ozpin, you're a dick.
Everyone thought Ozpin was
I was just like, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts summed up about Ozpin, but he's right. I mean, he can't help him. What is he supposed to do? Like, he doesn't have any money. I bet Ozpin, like, doesn't even have any money, you know what I mean? Because, like, Ozpin's the headmaster. He probably could go anywhere and be like, no, well, it's okay, we'll catch you later. Ozpin has probably bounced checks. Anyway,
I feel like Ozpin's kind of sick of Oscar's shit at this point.
He's just like,
do I look like I'm made of money? No, I'm an apparition. You may be schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I digress.
Thank you for digressing. So then we see a mysterious figure walking towards, him, Oscar, and I start to yell, no, no, no! a little bit louder. Actually, I sung it, if Hunter remembers correctly. So maybe a little bit different than how I said. But anyway, Hazel comes out of nowhere.
You were freaking out. I'm like, there's no way Hazel's gonna hurt Oscar, and I was right.
I mean, you
all
are,
Oscar
because,
does,
listen,
he gives the ATM a good smack.
You mean Hazel gave the ATM a good smack. And then he said, don't let such a small obstacle block your path.
And then he fucking
okay.
Ozpen in Oscar's head is like, it's a man from my past.
Yeah.
So I guess they have a history.
I assumed that Hazel would not hurt a child. But
he doesn't.
I know, that's why. I'm saying
also,
that's what I
Hazel
thought. I never thought that he would hurt Oscar because he's some random kid. But I thought he might recognize him as being Ozpin. That's why I was worried, you know?
I feel bad for Hazel, like, 4 or 5 seasons from now when Oscar is kicking ass or something along those lines.
And he's
they
just
get in a
like,
fight. They get in a fight with Hazel.
from the train! Yeah.
And, you know, they spoil some plot, and Hazel and Salem in a fight. They're like, who's seen that boy before? And Hazel just kind of awkwardly shifts to the right.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Anyway, Hazel's getting on the train, maybe to see Santa Con, but if that means Santa is in Minstrel. Because Hazel is in Minstrel, and that's what he's supposed to be doing, unless he has, like, other plans.
But do we know for sure where...
Santa?
No, where Oscar lives.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because we don't. So
I
hypothetically,
just assumed that he was in Minstrel because of RWBY, but he could be freaking anywhere.
He could be in Menagerie for all we know.
Because of the desert, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So he's not in Menagerie.
It's mostly desert, but he could be in the not part that is, or it's a plain. So deserts and plains, I'd imagine they're relative. Anyways.
It didn't look like Menagerie. It either looked like Vale or Minstrel.
But it looked like plains, you know.
Yeah, but that's the only 2 places that it.
But Menagerie would also have
farmland in the middle of the desert, though, like.
Whatever. Point is, we don't know where they are.
Yeah,
so
it looks a certain way, and so I would assume that it's I would think that it's not in Menagerie or Vacuo, because we know that Vacuo and Menagerie are very sandy and everything. And if we're talking about farmland, Minstrel and Vale seem like they are good farming places. Yes. So anyway, getting off of that, sorry.
But you could argue that he doesn't seem to be living near a main city.
He doesn't,
because he's talking about the idea of going to a city being very strange to him. So he definitely lives outside of the main kingdom.
I feel like Vacuo doesn't have the train system or Menagerie because they are kind of the, I don't want to say the Forgotten Kingdoms, but like because they're kind of like, I don't want to even say the Faunus Kingdom, but you know what I mean, like, in the world of Remnant, they're sort of painted as the uncivilized kingdoms, even though that's not true. Menagerie because the Faunus are there, and then Vacuo because there are a lot of bandits and stuff, and their government is run a little bit differently, and, you know, we can talk about maybe that in another video. But I wouldn't think that they would have some of the amenities such as a train station, you know? That seems like something that would be in Vale, Atlas, or the
But he's in a train.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and so it would be in Minstrel.
I don't know, I feel like
Vale. I
feel like they would still have
We know he's not in Atlas because, like, it's snowing, but, you know.
I feel like they would still have a train.
I don't know, but I feel like, how did, like, Ozpin's body get all the way to Vacuo? That's why I feel like it's probably in Vale or Minstrel, because maybe
well, it's not
Crow
his body, it's his, like,
his soul or whatever, sorry. I was thinking kind of that maybe his soul went into the cane, and so when Crow brought the cane, we're guessing that Crow still has the cane over to Minstrel, that maybe it flew out and went into Oscar. That's kind of my thoughts about that, but there is no proof for that other than, you know, what I think might have happened. So we're not going to talk about that anymore. Anyway, so Hazel fought Ozpin once, or it's a guy from his past. He's very cryptic about it, but we do know that it's possible that they fought Salem and the crew before. But actually, this did make me think of something, because Hazel's the one who says that they've dealt with Silver-Eyed Warriors before, so I wonder if it is possible that Ozpin was with Summer, and that's why they fought before, because Summer was on a mission, and Hazel or the other people in the crew ended up killing Summer. Does that make sense? And that's why Ozpin would be someone from their past, because we know that they fought against Salem and everyone before, but for Hazel specifically, and since that's what Hazel was mentioned as doing, do you understand what I'm saying, Hunter? Like, it kind of makes sense that maybe those events were interconnected. Yeah?
Maybe. Anyways.
It's just like...
I feel like we're focusing on something that's
I
not
know.
interesting when the really interesting things are happening
Anyway,
later
so
in the
we
episode.
go into Kagayori, and Ren's symbol is literally everywhere. It's on the tapestry, it's on some random, like, I guess it's sake, as we kind of find out later, some random sake bottle that's in the middle of, like, you know, fuck all, and so I was like, give that to Crow, Crow needs his drink, but anyway, I digress. I don't remember what I was saying now. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, Ren's symbol was literally everywhere, and so I was like, wait, they said that the last city was their hometown, so what's this bullshit? And so maybe what happened is that, I don't know, the Grimm...
Although I swear it was this city.
No, because in the last episode, in the couple episodes ago, remember they came to that town where they thought Tyrion? And he said that his parents had a dream for this to be like a new kingdom, right? And he said that. And now it seems like this random place was his home, so I don't know if Ren was talking as in an assortment of kingdoms or
Maybe.
just a one. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like it seemed odd to me that Ren would have talked about that place as if it was the place his parents died, and so now we're seeing. So I don't think it's a continuity error because it didn't happen that long ago, so I'm confused. You know what I mean? Like maybe all of the kingdoms in that belt of Minstrel were all places that his parents thought was gonna be the new kingdom. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. I don't get it. Like, because a few episodes ago, you're right, he mentioned, but he was talking about, again, that city where Tyrion was and everything, right? And he said that it was one Grimm that destroyed everything, and so that's why, because now in this new city, we get to see Ren's backstory, which is, like Hunter said, the most interesting part of this episode,
But you won't get to it!
I know, but there's a plot hole here, and I don't know what to do about it.
Is it a plot hole, or are you
Yeah.
just forgetting something? Because I think you're forgetting
I'm
something.
not.
now.
He said that was the settlement that they were gonna make the new kingdom, and then we remember because last time we
here's the thing.
recorded, we didn't know why Ren didn't want to go to the city. We thought that something was wrong. So maybe he just meant like his
I think
city was affected by the same Grimm that this city was. It was just his wording may have been
Or
off.
maybe after he got out of that city, he went to go to this city,
But
thinking
then
that
he's-
it was.
But
you know,
he said it was a hope for his parents, and his parents would have been dead by that point. That's a problem that I'm
fair enough.
having.
Although later on the episode, we see that maybe his father was still alive for some.
He's dead.
Well, we see his arrow. I mean,
We
obviously.
see his arrow fly into the thing, and then it fades to black. So it
no,
cuts to
later,
Ren.
Later on, right before the episode. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we see Ren's father's arrow in a different location.
Oh, you mean that? Okay, well, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a minute because I have thoughts. But anyway,
You always
so
have thoughts, Cal.
if you guys can explain to me why maybe Ren
we're
said that the
forgetting
way he
something?
did, if we're forgetting something, I'll go back and check and correct myself in the comments. But I don't know, I think maybe just the phrasing was weird, or I'm right about it being that they had a belt of cities that they wanted to make one kingdom. Do you know what I mean? And so all of these different cities were hope for his parents. Like maybe they traveled around in all of them, but they all started getting attacked by the same Grimm. You understand? And then because it seems like they were prepared to run away, so maybe that was his original home. Then they moved to Kagayuri where they lived. Everything was fine, but then that Grimm came and attacked him.
Everything and fine until it wasn't.
Yeah. I think that's a more probable explanation than maybe, like, plot hole accidents. If you would agree.
Or they may have just fucked up. I think that's a lot less likely. Anyways.
I don't know. I still like my city's Bible Belt
So,
sort of theory. Anyway,
Bible Belt?
Not Bible Belt, but you know, like...
Do you know what the Bible Belt is?
You
Cal?
know when people, like, use words like that to describe, like, a...
Or like the crescent.
Yeah.
Or...
You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's no religion here, but, like, it's a belt of cities that all have something in common. That's kind of what I mean. That they all, it's the Headless Horseman Grimm belt. That doesn't sound as catchy, but you know what I'm saying? I was trying to connect those two things as an example. Anyway, now that we saw that random bottle on the ground, though, I'm starting to think that that's gonna be what ends up healing Crow. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. No,
what
but
is he like fucking Popeye?
No,
he drinks booze and bum.
No, it was just a random bottle, like a green bottle, and green to me says potion because that's video game logic for me, I guess. Anyways, so let's get into cute backstory time because I don't think I explained myself right when I was talking about the cities, and I want to stop. So Ren is so cute, but his accent is weird.
His voice is
his
like,
voice,
like it's
yeah,
strange.
it's almost. I don't want to say it's British,
it's
but
like
you know
an
what
Asian
I mean?
British, if you know.
Yeah.
It's weirdly Asian British.
It was not.
It's kind of like how they make people sound weird in the Star Trek Next Generation. Understand? But yeah, where they give people those like weird pseudo future accents.
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was strange, but you know, whatever. Like it's cute. His voice was weird, but he was cute. So Ren's father was out hunting, but he's not a huntsman. This is important information for later.
He probably was just like trying to get food.
Yeah. And so Ren's mom is, I love her already. She's really cute, and you know.
Dude, what was the line that made me laugh hysterically?
I'm getting to that. So
yeah.
Ren wants to take a flower out of the garden or something, and she's like, "No, Ren, that flower lives here. We can't bring it home." And I thought that was, you know, sort of a good lesson of uprooting, you know, wildlife and taking it somewhere else. But anyway, let's get to the more fun part.
For all the Captain Planet fans that are watching RWBY.
Anyway, father's coming back home, and she's like, "Oh, what do you think he would like?" And Ren's like, "Oh, I think he would like a flower from the garden." And then she says, something about, why did you have to inherit my sass?
No, it was better than that. However she said it,
was it.
I want to have, like, oh yeah, something about inheriting sass. I tried laughing. The delivery was beautiful.
The delivery was better than my delivery, I will admit that, but I think that was the exact wording. So I fell in love with Ren's mom, and then they took her from us.
Yeah, they killed her off
in a
quick.
minute. So Ren is trying to buy things.
Well.
So he tries to buy like a weapon for his father, but then he can't because he's a little kid and they won't give him a big boy weapon.
Funds, and so they give him either a wooden hammer or a wooden sword.
And he chose neither for his dad. Then he goes and tries to buy some sake, and Hunter informed me that that is booze. Because I thought he was buying some kind of like sauce, like the sauce that you put on chicken balls, but apparently that is incorrect. So anyway, yeah, ouch, Calxiyn cultured. Anyways, so then we see Nora, and Nora is getting bullied by these three fucking little kids, who are gonna get their ass beat, and then Ren, like the little shit that he is, doesn't go help her. He tries to run away, but then his father's there, and the father's like, "What's going on here?" And then, the boys run away, and then Nora runs away in a different direction, and Ren gets in trouble. Ren, oh my gosh, I know it's hard to stand up to bullies, but I expected better from you, Ren, but I guess that kind of feeds into why he's this way now, and so I like that interesting bit of character development, but it
also,
did piss me
it's
off
nice watching him, like, being an absolute screw-up as sort of...
As a kid?
Maybe
to make you feel better, Hunter?
Maybe subversion of cliche. No, I'm aware I'm a screw-up and I own it, but...
Okay.
It's kind of a subversion of a cliche, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
So he says, oh no, I'm getting my sheets all confused. Okay, so, Dad looks cool. Mother character's design is great, but the dad's character design is like 100. He reminded me of some character though, like another anime dad, but I didn't know which one it was, and I was hoping that you could help me with that, Hunter.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I don't know. He gave me like cool dad vibes. You know what I mean? Actually, he kind of reminded me of the Emperor from Mulan, just kind of his beard situation that was going on, and kind of how he was like, you know, sometimes it's worse when we take no action at all, kind of,
imparting wisdom.
fatherly wisdom, yes. Yes. I don't know what other anime dad I could be thinking of right now, but
like
a lot of people have talked about Full Metal Alchemist before and its relation to,
I just
RWBY.
finished watching. I know that they like, and the guy who voices Crow also voices the main protagonist of Full Metal Alchemist.
That may not be the anime though. Like, you guys are pretty good with suggesting where they may have taken inspiration from.
Well,
a lot of it is Legend of Korra, but it's definitely not maybe Full Metal Alchemist.
Well, I mean, I know they
because you watched it, right?
Yeah, I did. They also liked Brotherhood a lot, to my understanding. Carrie did.
Anyway.
But I watched it, and and that guy's nothing like Van Hohenheim. Mostly because he's not an absentee father. Because let's be real.
I mean, he's dead.
Well, yeah, but let's be real about Van Hohenheim. He wasn't great. He fucked off.
Well, I don't watch this.
I mean, maybe he helped him out at the end. Because, you know, he was like, don't worry. Don't give up your alchemy. Kill me. I've been around for a while. I'm kind of sick of this shit.
Is that spoilers?
Anyway,
So
RWBY!
So RWBY! So sometimes it's worse to take no action at all, so that was very interesting and good wisdom to impart on our dear Ren.
Our dear baby. And
our dear baby
Ren.
Ren.
That guy is adorable.
So,
baby Ren is cuter than Chibi anybody.
Yes.
Like, that's a goddamn fact.
Yes. So I was a bit... Okay, you guys are gonna understand why I'm starting my sentence like that in a minute. So here's what happens. So it goes back to Jean and RWBY, and Jean says, oh, I have some idea why Ren may have not wanted to be here, so it's obvious that Jean has kind of observed... Hold on! That Jean has kind of observed that, and RWBY feels really bad. Like, 200%, bad, if that makes any sense, because she feels like they dragged them all into this, that she put everyone in danger, and she gets really sad. And this is what I think Hunter was trying to say a minute ago before I told him to be quiet.
That happens a lot.
So they said, Jean kind of talked about how they all lost Pyrrha and Penny and, in a way, her team and also her sister, and RWBY's lost so much, but she's still there fighting, and then he puts his arm on her shoulder, and it's really cute, and friendship! There's a guy. The Lancaster guy's in my head, Cal. He's in my head. And I will admit, that was good shipping material.
Yeah, that's a good argument towards. My only thing is that...
That was excellent shipping material.
But the thing is, I really don't think John's over Pyrrha.
He's not.
Because the
but
thing
I'm
is
saying
that I don't...
future, if in Volume 6 they get together, we'll refer to this episode and use it as...
Because truth be told, I don't like the idea of Lancaster, but I at least see some of the legitimacy in it at this point.
I saw more of a friendship thing there, you know what I mean?
Because I feel like John's just really not over Pyrrha.
Yeah.
And maybe that will evolve into something else.
If they get together, I'll probably look back on that scene and say, oh, this kind of had romantic undertones, you know what I mean? But as of right now, it just seemed friendly, right? Like, Jean showed a lot more emotion when he was giving that bro hug to Ren.
Although,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Although, so. in his defense, the Lancaster shipper, like, if that happened between Blake and Yang, we'd be gaying it up right now. But because it's going on, admit it.
I mean, right now, at this current moment, it wouldn't...
No, if a scene like that occurred
in general.
Yeah, between Blake or any other ship,
if they touched each other, we'd be
losing our shit. So you have to at least give him credit that
he's right.
There's something
there is something. But
my only argument against Lancaster being a thing
I mean, we should talk about that more when we do our Lancaster video next week.
All right, we're doing a Lancaster.
So, we're moving on to the other ships, by the way, since we're done Bumblebee. So we're moving on to Juniper and other
Bumblebee video.
Yes.
I think there's something. So yeah, I think there's something to maybe
I feel for any shipper that gets material because I understand. You know what I mean? Like, we're all friends here, so if like one ship happens, like I will be glad for those people that had their dreams come true, because don't let your dreams be dreams. Anyway, for me,
don't let your memes be dreams, love. But
no, it's not. Anyway, what was I saying again? Right. So I feel like that you know, again, Ren showed a lot more touching when he hugged, or John showed a lot more touching when he hugged Ren earlier, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Anyway, so Mom wakes Ren up, and everything seems okay for like 5 seconds, and then it's not okay anymore. So what I mean by that is that she's like, we need to leave now, and there's this roaring of this Grim, and you guys need to see this Grim. It is the creepiest thing that Hunter and I have ever seen.
It reminds me of, for anyone who likes the Lord of the Rings, it reminds me of like the Nazgul.
It kind of, it was giving me the Headless Horseman vibe, because it's definitely some kind of humanoid creature on top of an animal, riding on an animal.
But when you get a better look at its design, it seems to have sort of lopsided arms.
Yeah, its arms are dragging on the ground. It kind of
seems like some kind of like something you'd like, sort of a rotting, festering horror type creature. Something you'd find in Bloodborne. I don't know what the word for that aesthetic is.
Zombie, but you know,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, that's
whatever
kind
floats
of
your boat, fam. So
zombie horseman.
Dad is gonna go fight, and then Mom's like, okay, I'll take the kid, sort of. That's basically the gist of what happens. She wants him to come to the safe house, so there's obviously somewhere that has been set up in case. And this is why I think I'm gonna retract my earlier statement of that being continuity, because now I'm kind of understanding that maybe that city that they were in before was Ren's, like, original home, and it got destroyed, and so when they went to this city, they built a safe house kind of situation.
Also, on that horseman, Cal was ultimately right. It was the Grim that left the footprint!
Oh!
I don't know why I stuck to that so long. I just kind of liked the idea of that they were once in a tribe. They didn't do that, however, some tribe stuff comes up later, and we'll bring that.
Also, we need to talk about where Nora comes from exactly, because one of the boys says that she dresses weird and that maybe she's abandoned, and so we don't know what happened to Nora's parents, but maybe it seems like they came from somewhere else, like with more of that fashion, like Vale, and then something happened to them along the way.
Because Nora...
We're probably going to get more information
because
about that,
we know where Ren's parents went. They got eaten.
Sort of.
Sort of. Well, Mother definitely died.
Crushed.
Mom definitely died. Father, it's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah. So I was not expecting that. So she's like, "Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay." And then the building comes down on her, and she's dead. Hunter, can you not touch my microphone? Anyway, so
we know what happens to Ren parents to an extent, but we have no idea about Nora's parents. So that remains to be seen.
My theory is that Nora's parents were
have silver eyes. Sorry. Anyways.
They were huntsmen and huntress, and so they went to Minstrel on a mission and maybe left Nora there, and that maybe that's why, because her clothes are kind of more like Yang, where they're modern sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, because it seems like again, Minstrel is sort of this place of like high fashion or whatever they said earlier, and so it kind of seems like maybe oh gosh. It seems like maybe she came from somewhere, again, like Vale, which seems to have some more like modern day clothing, if that makes sense, which gives hints into Nora's backstory. Anyway, we keep getting onto stuff that maybe isn't the most interesting parts of the episode, so sorry about that. Anyway, so Mom's dead, and so it's a Grim that comes into the town. It's a horse. It's some kind of horseman.
It looks like the Nazgul.
Yeah. There are also some Nevermores flying in the air, and the design on them is different. Yeah, they have these glowing
look more
red.
Sleek,
they only have they have this sort of sigil on their noses now, and so I don't know if that was due to the Grim. Like the Grim that was invading, if maybe it gave them like superpowers or something, you know what I'm saying?
Because we really know nothing about the Grim. There was nothing in the credits about what the Grim's name could be.
Or what it looks like.
Well, we see. Well, we
like
have
that.
a good idea.
Well, no, but what it actually, like concept art, I'm trying to say.
Yeah, concept art.
It seems like to me. It seems like to me that oh boy, I'm losing my train of thoughts all over the place today. Oh lord, what was I gonna say now? Something Grim. Oh yes! It seems like to me that the Grim may have enchanted that Nevermore, because we've seen Nevermore with red eyes before, but this had kind of a like circular design, like one circle on its beak, 2 circles around its eyes to make kind of a Venn diagram. on the beast's face and it was glowing, and so maybe I was starting to think that maybe that could be special, or maybe it's not and they just improved the Nevermore design since we last saw them. Like, we don't really know.
Hypothetically, Grimm could look different in different areas.
Yeah, that's true too.
Part of the idea.
Maybe in Mistral, the Grimm are more high fashion. Anyway, so yeah, it's creepy. Like, the monster, as it passes by Ren and Nora in a later scene, like, it gave me chills. Like, it's probably the scariest thing we've seen in the entire show. And we remember that Crow says, I've seen the things she's made, and they are fear, right? And so that is fear, for me anyway. Like, that is the very much the definition of fear, that Grimm. And so maybe that is from Salem, because as far as we know, Salem has made some scary, creepy-ass things. So, Ren's semblance was revealed.
Yes.
I'm very sorry about...
Whoever thought it was, poison.
About the guy, elemental colors on my Twitter. I don't know if you're watching this. I'm so sorry. I really felt for you when you made that poison semblance theory. Like, I know you've been riding on that the entire time, and I kind of feel bad. Because I know what happens when my theories don't come true, and I cry a little bit. So, Ren tries to hide for a minute, and he loses all of the color in his body, which was kind of weird. Like, he turned black and white, but then I didn't really understand at first, but then Hunter and I realized that it could be invisibility because the Grimm didn't seem to see him, and so, or it could be... It's either invisibility or because we've still seen them, it could be like I don't want to say a scent hider, but the Grimm smell or are attracted to negative emotions. And so when they turn gray like that, maybe they lose all of their, it's basically a stealth. I don't know if they're actually invisible or not, or their fear is just masked.
I think it may be the latter.
Which one?
When they're masked by their fear. Because
we've seen characters who have been not invisible, but like invisible to the eye before, right? Because so before when Emerald does the illusion thing, we've seen from Amber's point of view, she sees that Emerald and Mercury aren't in the scene. So I feel like they would have done something like that again if Ren did turn invisible, where they would have showed a shot of Ren not being there suddenly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's illusion magic, so it's obviously been a bit different, but they showed, to make the audience understand, they showed Emerald on the other side of the illusion, and then the illusion that Emerald was making with the little girl for Amber, and so I feel like they would have done that again if it was invisibility, so I figure that it's just masking. But it's interesting that it takes all the color away, because we've talked a lot about...
you need to see, like, the visual for it, so
it basically, they just turned gray.
They went sort of grayscale.
Yeah.
For a moment.
But I just want to mention this quick, and I'll probably do a separate theory on this, because I think this is kind of a loaded topic, but... I think that, color has been very, like, almost symbolic in the show so far, like, that, color has kind of united people and sort of brought peace and, like, I don't want to say, like, oh, we shouldn't fight it. Yeah, it's kind of like, we shouldn't fight anymore, and sort of, like, all of this artistic things that were established after the war, like the color naming rule. And so it's sort of, I feel like that to stealth like that and make maybe that stealth represent itself in being colorless is that the Grimm, as much as they are attracted to emotion, like high running emotions, they are also attracted to humans being happy. They want to destroy that happiness. And so by taking away the color, you're also taking away any emotions or any happiness that a human may be feeling, right? Because we kind of talked about that earlier.
They said they were only attracted to misery,
but
happiness.
I know, but I mean that, I don't mean like literally. I mean that before when we talked about the brothers, they talk about the dark brother who wanted to make things that destroyed everything the light brother had. And so they may be attracted to, like, literally to humans being miserable with each other, but also on a symbolic level, they would want to snuff out any sort of color and happiness in a human's life, because the Grimm were originally created to destroy anything that had some kind of representation of light.
Life.
No, well, life and light. I mean light versus darkness.
Anyways.
I don't, we
So
can
we
talk
know
about
what
that
Grimm's,
later.
wait, not Grimm. We know what Ren's thing is, and I think it makes, I like the idea of
And he is a ninja, so something stealth
and
makes
maybe
sense.
that's why he has such a measured personality, because frankly, he talks more in this one episode as a child than he does as a quasi-adult teenager, whatever.
Well, that could
through
just
the
be
entirety
like
of the
mentally,
show.
like scarring or.
So, which could be many things, but it seems like maybe that's where he, because it's like your
I mean,
semblance are supposed to come from your personality.
I would also say
Your semblance are supposed to come from your personality, and he's a very measured person, so in a sense that he could use that measuredness.
That hasn't been established for fact, though. Like I know
Yes,
you.
it has.
No.
Yeah, it has.
No one ever said that. Oh, semblance is. Nobody said that.
Yeah.
When?
Isn't that what
No, that's
what
not
Blake
a-
says?
No.
Yeah, Blake says that where she's like, your semblance is your personality or whatever, and all I can
No.
do is run away, so that's why I create shadows of myself. She says
Okay, but
that.
I think that was more of a metaphorical level. I don't think she
Oh,
meant
okay.
literally.
And suddenly you don't take metaphors so seriously when it's other people's metaphors.
No, but it's because I understand what you're saying. It's that semblances are an extension of themselves, but I think that she didn't mean it as in the semblance created itself after it found out what a shitty person I am for running away all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's exactly what happened, right? You understand what I mean? Hunter? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think that it was more, the semblance came first, and maybe personalities are influenced by semblance, because it's easier to run away, or it's easier to hide when you have stealth, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to maybe have a unstable sort of, I don't want to say temperamental personality, but it's easier to have a temperamental personality like Yang when your semblance is throwing a temper tantrum. So I think that you're right, it may just be the other way around. Yes?
Anyways,
Okay, you're not gonna say anything?
I mean, I kind of already threw my point out.
Okay. So Ren does something really cute. He takes a hammer, I guess from that shop that probably got destroyed.
The wooden
wooden
from
hammer,
earlier.
and he gives it to Nora and says that it's time to be brave. And so now we can kind of see where Nora got the inspiration for her weapon from. We can also see why maybe Ren wanted to become a huntsman, not just because, like, obviously his parents died, but his father says that they need a huntsman in the village, and so I was thinking that maybe
I mean, it may
he
be
could-
a little too late for them.
I mean-
Controversial opinion, but whatever.
I mean that maybe, oh god, get back in the game. I can't see. Oh gosh, that was a weird glitch there. You guys probably didn't see it. Anyways, so I think that may have pushed Ren, at least subconsciously, because the town needed a huntsman and there was never a huntsman there. So maybe for Ren, he thinks if there was a huntsman there, my parents would have been saved. So I'm gonna become a huntsman to save the next town. Yeah?
Yes.
So yeah, he said not to be scared and all that stuff. And then they come back present time. They are on the mountain, and the boop, I'm gonna call it the boop reprise. Boop is playing in the background. It's at a slower speed. Hunter didn't catch it, but I have a musical ear, and so I noticed it right away, and it made me cry. So yeah, they said, oh, why don't we ever get the easy path, because it seems like there's some kind of blockage on the mountain, or that the mountain is kind of being a bit difficult with them. And so they say that the easy way is no fun, and that they got each other, and it's really, really sappy. And then they hear the roar of the Death Grim, and you know, you start to wonder, where's it going? And it seems like it's going to Jean, RWBY, and Crow, who are all alone in the middle of the city. So,
And then they hold hands in the end of the episode.
well, no, we're not done yet. So,
Were you gonna talk about the color of someone's eyes or a bird you saw in the background for 5
No.
minutes?
So there's wind in the cave, and so that means that there's an entrance on the other side of the cave. So something flies through it, and we see that it is a symbol for Xion Village. See, Hunter's trying to stop me when this is important. So basically, they go inside of the cave, and they find literally thousands of swords. like, not thousands, maybe
Quite a
hundreds.
few.
100 of swords. In the...
That's proper English.
Yeah. 100 of swords. That comes into the, that are just littered into the cave. And Ren picks up an arrow of his father. And so, here's basically what I think about that. And that is, that cave is the cave of the monster. And so after it destroyed their town, Ren's father didn't die yet. But instead, he all went with those people to hunt that monster down in that cave. And then the monster killed him. And that's why the arrow would be there. Or maybe, since the arrow, we know for sure that the monster got shot by Ren's father, so maybe the arrow was in the monster and then the monster ripped it out or something. But as far as we know, Xi'an village maybe went to the cave to attack the monster to get rid of it once and for all, and all of their soldiers have seemed to die. So first I thought that, my second theory on that is that it is the cave of one of the tribes, and so they took all those swords and stuff as souvenirs for killing that town down, but I think that's less likely. I think it's just like you know how they say that dragons hold gold? Like, that have gold in their layers and stuff like that? I think this monster is a sword collector.
Well, it could also, because you also see there's like the black ooze that in the beginning of the season you see Grim crawl out of. There's the similar ooze that's all over the place.
So maybe that monster's oozing.
And it's also footprints in that ooze, so I think your first theory has a little more validity to it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I thought about it. The Grim footprint was in the cave, so it seems like that's the monster's home or something like that. And so Ren and Nora, maybe we should do 2 shipping videos next week, because I feel like we need to talk about this before either of them are made to be canon, but it seems like that Ren and Nora are confirmed, or at least, I don't know, I feel like something was confirmed because they held hands at the end of the episode. It actually reminded me of not another anime, another show where they did that too, but it's probably sort of a trope, like, a little bit. Like, to hold hands before the danger comes, sort of thing. But we're pretty sure that Ren is gonna go down there and Nora's gonna go down there and they're all gonna fight in, I guess, the next episode wherever we see RWBY. But I wanted to talk about that for a second because first, whenever there has been a pairing confirmed, one of them die. And so here's my theory. I said at the beginning
it's not like you have a high standard of that.
Okay.
That only occurred once.
Well, actually, no. It happened twice. Summer died.
Yeah, but neither Raven nor Taeyang did.
Yeah, but I'm saying one of them has been dead, right? Because John's still alive too.
That's still not an absolute.
I don't know. That's two different couples in a show that isn't too focused on romance, so I'll take what I can get. I think that Ren is gonna die avenging his parents, basically. I think that is what the next episode's gonna be, is that, kind of once and for all, he's gonna get rid of that monster, and there's gonna be some kind of scene where he says, you know, he puts his hand on Ruby's shoulder and says, "Ruby, it's time to be brave," before he kicks it. Anyway, so that's kind of my theory for Ren kicking it. So now, basically, I guess we're gonna get to what do we think of the episode. What do we think of the episode? I really liked it. Like, I liked how everything was tied together. I like how they built up Ren's backstory. Because now I'm like, even if he did kick it, like, I would be satisfied. His story has been well done, but at the same time, I want to see more of Ren now that we know that he has this kind of cool-ass semblance.
I really don't think they're gonna die, although definitely it's gonna get... Things are going
to get hairy next episode. Things are gonna get grim! Anyway, yeah, I really liked the episode. I was so excited to watch it when I saw Baby Ren on the screen, and, you know, like, I guess... I was gonna watch it anyway, but that was also very clickbait-y almost. Like, that got me, like, invested seeing Baby Ren. Anyway, yeah, you guys know that because you guys heard my thing at the beginning. But yeah, anything else, or are we good?
I'm really looking
Animation was nice.
I'm really looking forward to, like, the bloodbath that is probably coming. I think
there were some hitches.
Somebody's gonna say someone.
Yeah,
soon,
we've kind of had theories about Raven coming in, right?
I think Raven's gonna come in and save him because I don't think they're gonna kill off Crow. I really don't want him to kill off Crow. So at this point, I feel like he's like a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't get
But
rid
so
of them.
is Neo, and like, bitch, where's she?
What if Neo comes in and saves the day? How would you react if
Well,
Neo
I
comes
would be
in?
like, what the? That doesn't make any sense.
I would.
You know what? Actually, Neo coming in and saving the day because she doesn't want Ruby to die to the Grim and she wants to kill Ruby herself would be quality writing, and I would support that. But anyway, we had to mention Neo once. Like, we have a Neo counter, and like every episode we have to mention her at least like briefly.
That was the thing, though. Where is Neo?
Where they said she was gonna be here, so where is she? You know?
She's gonna come in eventually.
Maybe she's disguised as someone, and we just haven't like thought
What if
about
Ren?
it.
What if Ren?
What if Ren's Neo?
Have we ever seen Ren and Neo in the same place together? I don't think we have.
Anyway, you guys.
That's your theory video. Ren is Neo.
It-
Neo is Ren.
It's not. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, remember to give it a like. If you want to talk about anything that we mentioned in this video, anything at all, I reply to every comment, and if comments are directed at Hunter, I will send them to him and forge his reply.
Yeah, she forges my reply.
I don't. I ask for his opinion, and then sometimes I change the wording because Hunter can't spell.
I check right the fuck out when these videos end.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you to Huntsman Tier, Patron Edwin, and Academy Professor Jackson Buchanan for supporting me on Patreon. If you guys want to support me, there's a link in the description. And hopefully we'll get a theory video out sometime today. We have exams next week, and so things may be a little bit chaotic, but I actually have a 6-day break after exams. So I'm gonna be like flying high for a little while, so maybe we'll get some more videos out. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.